My name is Sujith Koshi Burgess and I'm 25 years old. I went to Indian high school, after which I moved to Bangalore to pursue my bachelor's in commerce. I spent in Bangalore next 3 years, that was from 2010 to 2013, having the best time of my life. So my home in Bangalore was just a place where I would go and stay, like for sleep. That was it. And by morning I was out again with my friends, bike racing, a lot of bike racing in Bangalore. One day I woke up and I wasn't in my room anymore. Suddenly, from the crazy biking lifestyle and partying lifestyle, I just found myself in a hospital bed without any answers. I was told that I met with a bike accident and that I suffered multiple injuries. The first thing I asked was, can I have a mirror? When a mirror was brought to me, I saw and I could see my face half stapled up. I learned that I suffered 18 fractures on my skull. My 3 ribs had broken, 1 piercing my lung. I suffered multiple maxillary fractures and my spine was injured at my T6, T7 level. I spent the next 2 months in a rehabilitation where I learned how to literally start doing everything from scratch. I was literally taught to learn how to pick things from the ground again, how to transfer from my wheelchair to another chair, how to get inside a car, how to take a shower. I had to literally learn everything from scratch. People are asking me, could you do anything ever again? Can you walk? Can you feel? Can you eat? Can you sleep? These were the kind of questions that I got. And on everyone's face, there was a lot of sympathy. At this point, I was desperate to get back on my feet. I was told of this man who can magically heal me. He was known to be this Ayurvedic doctor who has done this before. So I took up his treatment. But little did I know, I was going to be his guinea pig. His treatments involved him hitting me on certain places like my thighs and my lower back, and I was told that was to increase the blood flow. But little did I know that was going to lead to a pressure sore. Not 1 or 2, but 3, on 3 different places of my body. Now for all of you who don't know what a pressure sore is something that happens usually to a lot of other paraplegics when your muscles are weak on certain areas, and if you hit it, it's going to get damaged. And in that way, the first layer of skin, it goes off, the second layer goes off. You can see inside, and then your flesh starts dying off. And then it reaches a point where your flesh has died off and it goes out of your body, and you can see literally your bone. It was like 3 holes were on my body, and I suffered 3 pressure sores due to this man's treatment, led by high blood infections. When the test was given on the lab, the person doing the test couldn't believe that my blood infection was of this level. After spending the next 2 weeks in the hospital, battling for my life, my infection was stabilized. It didn't even leave my body. And I came back home. At this time, things had changed even more. People were giving me way more sympathy. They looked as if I was done. I became half my body weight, literally bones. I reached a point where I couldn't pick up my own body weight. I literally reached a point where I was broken. I didn't have much people with me. I did not know what to do. I didn't even complete my bachelor's in commerce because my accident happened 5 days before my final exams for my graduation. I was letting people's limitations become my limitations. I was letting their thoughts become my reality. If I was waiting for my parents or my doctors to change my situation, nothing was going to change. If my situation had to change it, I was going to change it myself. The first thing I wanted to do was get back into my fitness, get my strength back. I needed to go join a gym, and that's the first thing I did. But everybody was skeptical about my situation. When I told I want to join a gym, very close people even came to me and asked me, Sujith, is there anything you can do in a gym? How will you go to a gym? What can you do in a gym? How will you lift those weights again? I had my doubts, but I still wanted to do it. That's exactly what I did. Today, I take a metro from Gises. I go all the way to Business Bay. From Business Bay, I catch a bus and I go to the UFC gym. I work out for 2 hours and I come back home the same way. It spends me about 4 to 4.5 hours to the entire process, but it's worth it because I get to do what I want to do. and I'm not limited by any way possible. I've been on the other side and I've seen a person in a wheelchair and I remember my own thoughts about it. But then when I got in a wheelchair, I saw how the world looked at me. When they termed the word disabled, by default they all looked at me negatively. They all looked at me as a person with limited abilities. I've beaten barriers that they could way more imagine. And I've achieved more than their able bodies than they could ever imagine. UAE terming us as owners of determination is the best title I could feel that they have given us, because they realize that the person who has been, the best things have been taken away from them are the ones that push themselves to greatness, push themselves to victory, and to achieve what they truly believe in. Yo, I wanted a vacation, I didn't know which nation. I went to Bangalore and that was a celebration. I'm back in Dubai, got a wound on my thigh, doing my CFA and that is side by side. Now I'm at this institution, gotta handle my situation to end this chapter without a complication. But there's a thought in my mind I'd like to notify. After all this while, I've come to realize that you can't suffice to live this life with a mind this size. That's sound wise. You gotta disguise, optimize, improvise. You gotta visualize of how you wanna rise. You gotta do this more than once or just twice. I rap this, guys, cause we are likewise. We all gotta rise and live life king size.